the Ormond Beach Regional Branch. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about getting into the books that you read and getting a deeper understanding of what the author intends for you to understand. Okay, so today our book is going to be about wonder. This book is by R.J. Palacio and it is quite an interesting book. Now, um, there are a few tips and tricks that I use to aid in my understanding. First, I want you to have a sheet of paper. I usually have a big enough sheet of paper to use. You can use a smaller piece if you'd like, but I write really big and not straight, so I need space. Okay, now, tip number one. Did you know that you can actually start your reading even before opening your book? Now, you can look at the cover, look at the pictures on the cover, look at the title of the book, and that will give you a clue as to what the book is about. You can also look at the spine for whatever information is there, and also at the back. Now, after you have done that and you have formed your own idea of what you think the story is about, you can then go ahead and open your book. And if it's a chapter book like this one, you can look at the titles for clues as well. So the titles will give you information about what you will be reading about in each chapter. Okay, now with my paper, I usually have a few things that I do. I want to make sure that I make some predictions about what the story is about. Now, on my paper, I'm going to make a few columns, and you can use a pen, a pencil, whatever you'd like, but I usually use something for color because I like colors. Now, there are three main columns that we're starting with. And if you notice, I'm doing squiggly lines because I think I am physically unable to draw a straight line. Okay, so I have to make do with what I have. Now, my three columns and one row for the title or the heading of what I will be doing. The first thing I do is to make some predictions after looking at the cover and looking at the title of each chapter. So in my column number one, I will have my predictions. In column number two, I will put an explanation for my predictions. So my heading can be why I predicted it, or you can simply write why I think so. And then in my third column, I write what really happened. Now this column, what really happened, is for when you're actually reading the book. You can see what really happened and you can match it with your predictions to see if you were correct. And that kind of encourages you to look at the deeper meanings in the book so that you can understand what the author intends. Now, I'm going to show you what I do with my cover. So I look at my cover, I look at my pictures, and on this cover in particular, it's quite interesting because there's a face with one eye and the word wonder is written where the eyebrows should be. Now, when I think about that, I say to myself, what could this book be about? And I know this is not the face that everyone has. So I'm thinking that this book is about differences. It's about someone who is going to be different or something different. So because I'm thinking that, I will write my first prediction is that I will read about differences. Okay. Now, on the back cover, if you notice, there are some excerpts or some words from the book itself, and I will go through that. I'll read just one of the excerpts for you and tell you what I predict based on what I read. It says, I won't describe what I look like. Whatever you're thinking, it's probably worse. Now, I'm thinking that I was right in my first prediction that we're going to be reading about differences. And now I am thinking that it's someone who is different, and this person is dealing with the differences that he has. So I may write in this word, coping with differences. All right, so those are my two predictions that I'll make right now. Now, I want to also explain why I made these predictions. So what in my column that says why I predicted it, I will go back to my first and I will say, I think I will read about differences because because of the picture on the cover of the book. Okay, so I'll just put the picture shows differences. And then the second one, coping with differences, and I will use what a character says. All right, so I'm thinking that we're going to be looking at coping with differences just because of the words read here. All right, and you can do that while you look at the titles. You can also look at making predictions about the titles too. Now I just opened to this one and it says, Nice Mrs. Garcia. I'm thinking that this particular chapter I'm going to be reading about a lady who is very nice. And we're going to be seeing why this person is nice. All right? Now, that's just one thing that you can do to help you to kind of give you a starting point for thinking when you start reading. Now, as you get into your reading, you can start writing things down for each of your predictions. Now, if while you're reading the book you find out that you really are reading about someone who is different, then you can write in your what really happened, this character or that character or the boy or the girl was different from everyone else, if that's what you found. Now, if that's not what you found, you can say, oh, I was wrong. The book is actually about different places that we can visit, if that's what it is about. All right, and you do that for each of your predictions. As you read along, you're looking to see if your prediction was right, and once you find that information, you write it down. Now, that's trick number 1 and 2. Final trick is to look for words in your reading that will tell you what the author means. Now, for that, I'm going to make 2 more columns. And my first of the 2 last column would have interesting words. And you can even also have strange words. And in my last columns, what they mean. Now, I'm not asking you that when you find a word in your reading that you're going to take up a dictionary and find the meaning of that. There's actually quite an easy way to find the meanings of words in your reading. Now, usually, you look at the sentence in which the word is used. You also look a sentence above and a sentence or 2 below where your word is used, and those words will give you a clue to the meaning of the word, the interesting word that you found. For example, if your interesting word is wander, you can find the meanings or clues to the meanings in the sentences around the sentence in which it was used. These are just a few of my little tips and tricks that I use to help me to understand as I read. I hope they're helpful for you, and I hope you will use them and find some joy in your reading. Thank you for joining me today. Join Miss Brianne for the stream activity associated with this same book on Thursday. Thank you guys and have a wonderful day. Bye.